Welcome to today's video. In this journey, we will dive deep into the myth of Athena, one of the most powerful and revered goddesses of Greek mythology. Known for her wisdom, courage, and strategic intellect, Athena played a pivotal role in countless myths, guiding heroes, influencing wars, and shaping the destiny of civilizations. In this exploration, we will unravel the complexities of her origins, her connection to both warfare and peace, and the many symbols that define her. From her remarkable birth from the head of Zeus to her position as the protector of Athens, we'll discover how Athena embodies the perfect balance between intellect and strength. As we delve into her story, you'll gain insight into how Athena's influence shaped ancient Greek society and how her legacy continues to resonate in modern culture. And, to make this experience even more immersive, we'll close with a powerful song inspired by Athena's wisdom and might. Get ready to dive into the world of gods and myths. Let's begin. The birth of Athena, an event of cosmic significance. Athena's birth is one of the most dramatic and symbolic tales in Greek mythology, a myth rich with themes of intellect, power, and divine order. It begins with Metis, the first wife of Zeus and the goddess of wisdom, prudence, and craft. Metis was known for her cunning and foresight, qualities that made her an ideal consort for the king of the gods. However, her intelligence also made her a threat in Zeus's eyes. The prophecy and Zeus's decision. Shortly after marrying Metis, Zeus received a dire prophecy from Gaia or Uranus. Metis would bear two children. The first would be a daughter of unmatched wisdom, and the second would be a son who would overthrow Zeus, mirroring Zeus's own usurpation of his father, Cronus. Fearful of this fate, Zeus sought to eliminate the threat by swallowing Metis whole. In a display of cunning, Zeus tricked Metis into transforming into a small bird or insect, which he then swallowed. This act was not only a show of Zeus's dominance, but also an attempt to absorb Metis's wisdom and prevent the birth of her children. However, the story did not end there. Athena's emergence from Zeus. Unknown to Zeus, Metis was already pregnant with their first child. The unborn Athena continued to grow within Zeus's body, specifically in his head, a location symbolic of intellect and foresight. As time passed, Zeus began to suffer from excruciating headaches, described in some myths as unbearable bursts of pressure and noise emanating from his skull. Seeking relief, Zeus called upon Hephaestus, the god of smithing and fire, or Prometheus, the titan of foresight, depending on the version of the myth. At Zeus's command, Hephaestus struck his head with a bronze axe. From the fissure, Athena emerged fully grown, dressed in radiant armor and holding a spear. Her emergence was accompanied by a cry so powerful that it reverberated across Olympus, shaking the heavens and earth. Symbolism of Athena's birth. Athena's birth carries profound symbolic meaning, reflecting her role as a deity of intellect and balance. Born of wisdom and power, Athena's dual parentage, Metis, representing wisdom, and Zeus, embodying authority, underscores her identity as a goddess who unites intellect with might. She is neither solely cerebral nor purely martial, but a perfect synthesis of both. A divine paradox, her emergence from Zeus's head ties her inherently to rational thought, making her a symbol of reason and logic. Yet, her warlike appearance at birth signals her readiness to act decisively, blending thought with action. The enduring cry, the battle cry that accompanied her birth, serves as a declaration of her formidable nature, establishing her as a goddess who commands both fear and respect. This extraordinary birth narrative sets Athena apart from other Olympian gods, marking her as a unique figure who owes her existence to a cosmic blend of wisdom, foresight, and divine will. It establishes her as not just a child of Zeus, but an equal, a deity born from the very seat of his power. Athena's dual nature, warrior and peacemaker. Athena occupies a unique place in Greek mythology as a goddess who embodies seemingly contradictory traits: fierce warrior and nurturing protector, destroyer in battle and builder of civilization. These dual aspects of her character reflect her profound wisdom and her ability to balance the extremes of human and divine behavior. Her actions, both on the battlefield and in fostering the growth of cities, emphasize her role as a harmonizer of opposites. Athena as a warrior, the strategist of Olympus. Athena was a deity of war, but unlike Ares, who represented the chaotic bloodlust of battle, Athena stood for the strategic and disciplined aspects of warfare. She was not a goddess who fought for the sake of violence, but for justice, protection, and the establishment of order. War is a necessary evil. Athena's approach to battle was marked by rationality. She did not revel in the chaos of war, but saw it as a tool to achieve a greater purpose, whether defending a city, punishing injustice, or ensuring the survival of the righteous. Tactical genius. Myths frequently highlight Athena's tactical acumen. Her plans were often decisive and aimed at minimizing unnecessary harm. She valued preparation and intelligence, qualities that made her not just a fighter but a commander and strategist of the highest caliber. Athena as a peacemaker, guardian of civilization. Parallel to her role as a warrior, Athena was also a builder and sustainer of peace. She actively promoted the values of civilization, seeing cities as sanctuaries where humans could thrive through culture, learning, and governance. Protector of justice, Athena was often called upon to mediate disputes. As a goddess of fairness, she believed in the power of laws and governance to bring stability, acting as a divine advocate for reason over chaos. Champion of urban life, her epithet Polias, meaning protector of cities, underscores her intimate connection to urban centers. Athena safeguarded cities not just from physical harm, but also from moral and cultural decay, guiding their growth toward enlightenment and prosperity. Wisdom as Athena's most powerful weapon. Although Athena was a capable warrior, her true strength lay in her intellect. She was the embodiment of Métis, strategic, practical wisdom. This quality was not confined to the divine realm, but extended to her relationships with mortals, where she frequently served as a mentor and guide. Counsel to the gods, Athena's wisdom was trusted even among her divine peers. Zeus, her father, often sought her advice, particularly in matters of justice and diplomacy. This unique position among the Olympians highlights her intellectual prominence. Mentor of mortals, Athena's interventions in mortal affairs often involve teaching humans to think critically and solve their own problems. She rewarded ingenuity, resilience, and the ability to outwit adversaries rather than relying solely on brute strength. Protector of cities, Athena's relationship with urban centers. Athena's role as the protector of cities goes beyond providing physical defense. She was a cultural and spiritual guardian who sought to elevate human societies to their fullest potential. The olive tree in the city of Athens, the most famous example of Athena's connection to urban life, is her patronage of Athens. Her gift of the olive tree during her contest with Poseidon symbolized her vision for a thriving, peaceful society. The olive tree provided not just food but also oil and wood, representing long-term prosperity and stability. Architect of progress, Athena encouraged the construction of essential civic infrastructure, such as walls, public buildings, and temples. The Parthenon, a masterpiece of classical architecture, stands as a lasting symbol of her patronage over Athens and its ideals of reason and order. The contest for Athens, a myth of divine rivalry. The myth of Athena's contest with Poseidon over the patronage of Athens is one of the most famous tales in Greek mythology, filled with symbolism and insight into the character and values of the gods involved. This story highlights Athena's wisdom, foresight, and her vision of sustainable prosperity, contrasting with Poseidon's raw power and impulsive nature. The rivalry between the two deities was not merely a competition, but a reflection of their fundamental philosophies and the ideals they represented. The context: a city in search of a patron. The contest began when a new city-state sought to establish itself under the divine protection of an Olympian god. For a city to have a patron deity meant receiving blessings and guidance tailored to its development and protection. Both Athena and Poseidon, powerful Olympians with complementary domains, wisdom and war for Athena, the sea and storms for Poseidon, offered themselves as potential patrons. The city's ruler, King Cecrops, a half-man, half-serpent being revered for his wisdom and fairness, was tasked with mediating the contest. The terms were set: each god would present a gift to the city, and the people would choose the one they deemed most valuable for their future. The gifts: a clash of philosophies. The gifts offered by Athena and Poseidon were not just tokens of power, but profound symbols of their personalities, domains, and the values they championed. 1. Poseidon's gift, a display of raw power. Poseidon struck the ground with his mighty trident, causing a spring of salt water to burst forth from the earth. In some versions of the myth, this act produced a horse instead of a spring. Saltwater spring. The spring symbolized Poseidon's dominion over the seas and his ability to provide water for naval dominance. However, its salt water was undrinkable and thus of limited utility for the inhabitants. The horse. In alternative versions, Poseidon gifted the horse, a creature associated with speed, strength, and military advantage. This animal symbolized war and conquest, aligning with Poseidon's tempestuous and warlike nature. Poseidon's gifts, while grand and powerful, reflected his impulsive and often unconsidered approach. They were immediate demonstrations of might rather than thoughtful solutions to the city's needs. 2. Athena's gift, a symbol of wisdom and sustainability. Athena, in turn, planted the first olive tree near the Acropolis. This tree was a marvel of nature, offering fruits, oil, and wood, each of which had immense practical and symbolic significance. Olive oil, used for lighting, cooking, and trade, olive oil became an essential commodity for ancient Greeks, fostering both domestic use and economic growth. Wood. The olive trees would provide material for tools, construction, and warmth, underscoring Athena's focus on practical solutions for daily life. Longevity and peace. The olive tree symbolized peace and resilience, reflecting Athena's preference for long-term prosperity over transient displays of power. Athena's gift was a thoughtful contribution to the city's well-being, emphasizing sustainability, prosperity, and harmony. The judgment and outcome. The people of the city, guided by King Cecrops, deliberated over the gifts. Ultimately, they chose Athena's olive tree as the more valuable offering. This decision was based on its practical benefits and its promise of lasting peace and prosperity. Poseidon's gift, while awe-inspiring, lacked the enduring utility and thoughtful consideration embodied in Athena's offering. The city was henceforth named Athens in her honor, and the olive tree became a sacred symbol of the city. The Acropolis, crowned by the Parthenon, stood as a testament to Athena's patronage and her role as the protector of the city's ideals. Symbolism of the contest. The contest is more than a story of rivalry, it is a narrative imbued with deep symbolic meaning. Raw power versus wisdom. Poseidon's gifts represented unchecked strength and aggression, suitable for short-term gains in war or dominance. In contrast, Athena's olive tree symbolized calculated foresight and the nurturing of resources for long-term stability. War versus civilization. Poseidon's gifts leaned toward martial dominance, while Athena's contribution favored the growth of civilization, embodying her dual role as a warrior and a peacemaker. Divine leadership. The contest highlighted the qualities of a true protector. Athena's victory emphasized that a leader should prioritize the well-being and advancement of their people over displays of personal power. Poseidon's reaction. Poseidon, known for his fiery temper, did not take his defeat lightly. In some versions of the myth, he retaliated by flooding parts of the city or cursing its lands. This act of vengeance underscores his impulsive nature and serves as a stark contrast to Athena's measured and thoughtful demeanor. Despite his anger, the city remained steadfast under Athena's protection, flourishing as a beacon of culture and intellect in the ancient world. Legacy of the contest. The contest between Athena and Poseidon left an indelible mark on Greek culture and mythology. It encapsulated the values that defined Athens as a city: wisdom, innovation, and a commitment to peace and prosperity. The olive tree, revered as a sacred gift, symbolized not only Athena's patronage but also the resilience and ingenuity of the Athenian people. The myth remains a powerful narrative of leadership, priorities, and the enduring conflict between raw power and thoughtful governance, themes that continue to resonate far beyond the world of ancient Greece. The challenge and the gifts. When a new city-state sought a patron deity, both Athena and Poseidon stepped forward, each offering a gift to the city's people. Poseidon's gift. Poseidon struck the earth with his trident, creating a saltwater spring. In some versions, he produced a horse instead, symbolizing military power and conquest. These gifts, while impressive, were seen as emblematic of war and domination. Athena's gift. Athena planted the first olive tree, a symbol of peace, sustenance, and economic stability. The olive tree offered practical benefits, including food, oil for lighting and trade, and wood for tools and shelter. The outcome and symbolism. The city's ruler, Cecrops, along with its people, chose Athena's gift, deeming it the more valuable and enduring contribution. This decision established Athena as the city's patron and marked the beginning of Athens' identity as a center of culture, democracy, and philosophy. The contest illustrates Athena's preference for thoughtful, sustainable solutions over showy demonstrations of might. Athena and the heroes, a guide and protector. Athena's role in the lives of Greek heroes showcases her as a mentor and enabler of human excellence. She did not solve problems for mortals, but empowered them to overcome their challenges through cleverness and resilience. 1. Perseus and Medusa. Athena's support in Perseus's quest to slay Medusa was pivotal. She provided him with a polished shield, teaching him to use it as a mirror to avoid the Gorgon's deadly gaze. After the victory, she claimed Medusa's head and placed it on her aegis, turning it into a powerful symbol of protection and deterrence. 2. Odysseus and the Odyssey. Athena's relationship with Odysseus exemplifies her fondness for clever and resourceful mortals. She guided him throughout his arduous journey home, offering divine intervention at critical moments and helping him devise the cunning strategies, such as the Trojan horse, that ensured his survival. 3. Heracles and the Labors. Athena aided Heracles during his 12 labors, providing tools and guidance. In the labor involving the golden apples of the Hesperides, she guided Heracles to seek the help of Atlas, demonstrating her ability to combine practicality with divine insight. Athena's dual nature as a warrior and peacemaker, her wisdom as a weapon, her role as protector of cities, and her guidance of heroes make her one of the most multifaceted deities in Greek mythology. Her stories are not just tales of divine power, but lessons in the value of intellect, justice, and balance in human endeavors. Her legacy endures as a timeless symbol of the harmony between action and reason. Did you enjoy this dive into Greek mythology? Then, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to never miss a video filled with history, magic, and mystery. We want to hear from you. Leave a like and share your thoughts on the video in the comments. Any questions, theories, or theme suggestions? Let us know. Your participation is essential to continue bringing amazing content. Immerse yourself in the wisdom and might of Athena with our music. Let the sounds of Vale of Nyx transport you to the heart of her legendary tales. Listen now and feel the power of the goddess of wisdom and war. Thank you, FO.
Beneath the sky where legends rise, two gods stood with their gifts of pride. The sea rose strong, the earth did quake, as Poseidon tried and sealed his stake. From salted springs a torrent flowed, a power untamed, a wilder flow. But wisdom's light, so calm, so clear, shone through Athena, drawing near. She knelt to earth, her hand so kind, and planted peace for humankind. Upon the trees stood tall and green, a gift of life, of hopes unseen. While winds may crash and horses ride, Athens chose the olive, not the tide. Poseidon's wrath, the storm unchained, seaborne pride could not be tamed. He raised his hand, the waters climbed, but Athens knew the test of time. For roots run deep where wisdom grows, a city's bloom what calm bestows. Athena's gift, the quiet stay, while Poseidon's tempest slowly swayed. Upon the trees stood tall and green, a gift of life, of hopes unseen. While winds may crash and horses ride, Athens chose the olive, not the tide. gift a life of hopes unseen. While waves may crash and horses ride, Athens chose the olive, not the tide. Oh, a horse may charge and salt may sting, but life is born where branches cling. A city's soul, a sacred flame, was forged in wisdom, not in fame. Athena watches in silence above, the guide eternal, oaths of love. Her flame burns bright through the endless skies, goddess of wisdom, where truth never dies.